My name is Caoimhe O'Dwyer. I'm an artist based in Castleblayney, County Louth. I specialised in fashion. I studied at NCAD in Dublin, National College of Art and Design. In 2005 I won the Middle Motor Award, and from there I worked in Italy. I worked for La Perla and was living in Bologna for a year. Moved to Castleblayney in 2008 with my young family. I had to kind of reevaluate what I was doing, so I started teaching. I started teaching in Creative Spark, and I teach sewing and dressmaking and then drawing and working on summer camps with children. In 2020, the Louth Craft Mark had an exhibition in the basement gallery in Antoine, and they invited all the artists in the network to contribute, and it was to memorialise our friend and colleague Patricia Murphy. She was a huge inspiration to all of us. I worked very closely with her in Creative Spark on a project called Traveller's Stories Through Craft. If ever I was going to get something ready and put it in an exhibition, it was definitely for that. That really did spur me on to do more painting and drawing. I started painting again in about 2020, going back to my sketchbooks and, having a clearer direction on what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go with my art. So I have loads of these very messy sketchbooks with drawings that I do when I'm out, in the garden or with the children or in our orchard. So a lot of the work that I do is inspired by our surroundings, and I find it very kind of rewarding as well, and I really, really enjoy what I'm doing. After I had, been invited by Jackie and David Main took over.
The very first artist I actually met when I started working here was Caoimhe. Around about this time last year, we had discussed how we were going to approach her exhibition. She told me about our work, and I was really, really lucky in that in the year running up to her exhibition here in Íontas, we were able to do a lot of community-based activities with her. In particular, her and her artist friend Jenny Slater ran absolutely incredible parent and infant art workshops. The response from that has just been absolutely fantastic, and it really goes to show how special Caoimhe is in her work, that she's able to bring incredible things like that using her own skills to community organisations like ourselves, and that was really, really fun.
My exhibition is called Renewal. It sets out a series of natural phenomena. It's very centred around the themes of nature, rebirth and womanhood. So when we were planning the exhibition, everyone that exhibit is at Íontas, you get to have your official launch, you decide what day it's going to be, or you decide when it's going to be. So I knew pretty early on that I needed to give myself a couple of weeks after hanging the exhibition. I just gave myself a little bit of time just to plan what we wanted to do. We had Dara McGowan and Andy Hogg, so they're called the 251s. So they did the lovely background ambience on the night. We did a little bit of home baking, just because we had friends coming from far and wide to the exhibition. We wanted to make sure everybody had something, so we had food and wine. And my dear friend Susan Farrelly, who is an artist, who we met through Creative Spark shortly after they opened over, just a decade ago. She opened the exhibition for me. So again, it felt like I really had my very close friends around me on the night. I suppose after so long as well of everybody being part, it did feel like one of the first events that I'd been at or hosted that was so well attended. We had a super night. This is something you just never know how it's going to go until you put yourself out there. Out of the total exhibition, I've sold, I think, 17 pieces of art, which is about half of what I've exhibited, which is incredible. It feels like such a validation that your work connects to people, and I kind of did want to offer kind of a good variety, and we sold kind of something from everything, so it was just wonderful that some things that I've been inspired by have actually connected with other people.
Caoimhe's exhibition could not have come at a more perfect time. Here we are in the lovely spring of 2023, and I can't think of any artist or indeed exhibition that perfectly represents spring and that renewal of life than Caoimhe's exhibition of Renewal. Her work has a certain delicacy to it that only her brilliant command of watercolour really captures so well. There's such a lovely mix as well of colours and of brightness and of vibrancy that brings a lovely freshness to our walls.
The beautiful subtleties of, the apple blossoms and the magnolias, the blues and the palettes of the sea and the ocean, lots of greens as well in there. I love sap green and mixed with a little bit of yellow. As a mum, it's been a very big and important part of my life, having my children, and just wanted to celebrate womanhood and just life, I suppose. I wanted to have those, they're nearly like they are, I suppose, a self-portrait for me, but they could be a self-portrait for any woman that sees them, that has gone through bringing new life into the world. And it connects directly to the theme of renewal and celebrating the beginning of life. So not just the beginning of life as we see nature unfolding every spring, but also the beginning of our own lives. All our lives do come in a full circle, and nature, it reflects that as well. So I did want to bring that element into it. I don't think that you have to go out and find a profound reason to create art. Art can be just made in a simple way, but it can represent something that's very deep and meaningful to the artist. I think that if I hadn't been invited to do this solo exhibition, I don't know if I ever would have, approached a gallery to say, I'd love to do an exhibition. It does take a lot of courage, and it takes an awful lot of belief in yourself to do that. So the fact that I was asked to do it and I was given that opportunity was pretty amazing. A few people asked me, did I enjoy doing it? And I have to say, I really, really enjoyed all of the painting that I did. I didn't find that it was a chore. So I think it's just in me to create. Like, I think if you ask any artist or designer or maker that, they will tell you the same thing. So if you feel that you have to create, that's something that's just, it's just part of your makeup.